I've categorized photos from the last 15 years into many files and categories. This is the picnic table series. So there's 15 photos in this series that I've highlighted that are my favorite. And they all have to have a picnic table in them. So mostly just dogs on picnic tables. Sorry, picnic table users, if my dogs were on your picnic table before you had your picnic. Anyway, this one is aside from just visually being one of my favorite photos of the dogs, it's incredibly meaningful. It's actually my backdrop to my desktop computer right now on my screen. And the reason why it's so special for me is because these 4 dogs have all passed away now. And this was taken, let me just check here. Oh, maybe I can't check. Probably about 2014. Well, Pepe's there, so it's actually probably 2016. Yeah, I would say this is 2016. It looks about spring. Looks like it's one of those cool, warmer spring, maybe late, probably more like late winter days. When that finally we're getting a little break in the winter, I can kind of tell. You can tell that the breeze is coming in from. They're facing the southwest, and so in London, whenever the breeze is coming from the southwest, you know it's going to be warm. So that's the angle that they're facing, the southwest. This is Harris Park. And anyway, that's Milo on the front left. Weimaraner. Right here. Blue Weimaraner. I started walking him as a puppy at 8 months old, and he just passed away a couple months ago. Sorry, I whispered there. I didn't mean to whisper, but he passed away a couple months ago. This is the first recording I've done on mic, so it's going to get quiet sometimes. And I cried like a baby. I didn't think I would, but I really did. I was there when we had to put him down, and I went in with Carol's best friend, and it was incredibly intense experience for me, and it lasted for a long time afterwards. He was a very important dog for the pack. And Pepe the Bulldog, we rescued him. He lived a good life. Died fairly young for his breed, maybe 9 or 10. Renee took mostly of him during the rest of his years. But I took care of him for a good solid year or 2 in the city. So that's quite a long time. That's quite a relationship. And then Anak, that's the guy standing on top right here. That's my brother's dog, who I took and kept for the rest of his life, and he's the best dog I ever had, by far. Great with kids, good with dogs, great off leash, just the best demeanor you can imagine, just so friendly, a gentle giant. And then Tommy the Hound Dog, which is pretty much the first difficult dog I ever got. Great social skills with dogs. Came off from New Orleans, but man, was he a handful. Anyway, I love this picture. Let's go to the next one. Oh, come on, there we go. All right. This is an old photo too, 2013, going from left to right. Xena, Charlie, Anak, Anya, and Sasha. My brother told me he liked this one, so I like it too. 2013, 12 years ago. It was a rainy day, and you could see the raindrops down here. And we were just kind of hanging out under the gazebo here, sheltered from the rain, and I just, wanted to take photos, so I was like, the rain's going to stop, so I set them up on the table and took the shot with flash. I'm glad I took these shots, though. Honestly, I look back on these shots 12 years ago, none of these dogs are alive anymore. All these dogs have passed away, and it's just, I'm so grateful to have all these photos just here. Okay, why is this 10? Oh, God, I guess I'm going the wrong way. All right, I'll go left. Similar to the last one, same 4 dogs. Maybe it was even the same day, actually. I think it's a different camera, though, but it was pretty close to the same day. Pepe on the right, Tommy on the center, tall. Anak laying down, and Milo in the back. I just love the colors of this one. God, I love film. All these shots are on film photography, and I just love the tones and the colors and the sharpness and the lack of sharpness, I should say. It's not all about sharpness. It's more about tonality and feel. So this is more of a recent shot, maybe 2023. These are all the current guys. All these guys are thriving. They're all thriving. None of these guys are actually, no, I shouldn't say that. Oliver had a sudden medical issue, and he lost the ability to move, and it was a slow deterioration over about a month and a half, 2 months, but they had to put him under. They had to put him down, and he was part of the pack for maybe 2 years, I think. His predecessor, Sadie, is not in this. Oh, there she is, right here. This is Sadie right here. So Sadie and Oliver live together, and now there's Sadie and Sawyer. Sawyer's not in this photo, obviously. Sawyer replaced Oliver. So even having photos of Oliver, it's special for me because I had a relationship with Oliver. He was a good dog. He was a good social guy. He knew how to handle himself with other dogs. He was vocal, kind of yappy and vocal, but that's his style. He's a border collie mix. And we got. We'll go from left to right, from bottom to top. Got Gia. Oh, Gia. Sadie. Lita. Roxy. Rosie. Jersey. Gryffindor. Rhea. Oliver. Tulo. Oh, that looks like Gwen. Jazzy. Emery. Molly. The truth is I actually don't use their names very often, so it's actually hard for me to recall their names because it's part of my philosophy. I don't use their names too much. Anyway, we'll go to the next one. This is another recent one. I'm not going to go through all the names again. That was hard. So I'm just going to look at it for a second. And this is my house in the background over here. Right back over here. This is actually a fairly difficult shot to set up, honestly. When I'm setting this up, you can tell it's cold, right? So first of all, none of them want to the cold ones really don't want to stay still. So the way I do it is I always do the easiest ones first, and I take the last ones, or the hardest ones. So anyone that's sitting on the ground is basically considered one of the harder ones, because I had time to set these guys up on the table one at a time, probably from this direction down to this direction. So Ray would have been first, and then Tulo, and then down, 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 and then Emery would have been last, because he's fairly younger. Ray has 12, so she's done this for her whole life. And then so I would have had these guys still on leash, and so I did a couple circles with them, and then I asked them sit, 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 sit. And Rosie was probably the last one because she does not have good off-leash type command ability. So I probably kept her leash on and just tried to hide it, and took the photo. Backed up maybe 20 feet because I was using it to take a telephoto, and took the photo. This is an older one, maybe 2016, 2017, maybe. I don't know. But I love putting dogs on picnic tables and taking photos. That's Foxy. You haven't seen Foxy, and there's Foxy. Differworks. That's what I got names for all these dogs, especially the older ones, like Charlie. Tare. There's another one on the picnic table. Usually when I'm setting up a shot, I usually try to capture a moment. So I'm usually standing there for a good, 5, 10, 12, 15 seconds. Sometimes it's quick, but usually it's not. Usually I'm getting tired. Actually, my eye starts twitching a little bit because I'm actually really focusing on waiting for that right moment to take a shot and to stay in focus and not to be starting to move around with the camera and stuff. So this was the moment that developed, and I took the shot right when they touch. Right when they touch the faces like that. I love photos when they just touch, just touch like that. I love that when they touch like that. Anyway, this is her mentor, Penny and Foxy. Foxy is definitely Penny's mom or big sister. Probably right after they took this shot, she probably tried to bite her face or something. Not mean, but in a Foxy kind of way, pretty sort of what's the word? Kind of not intense, but quick. And wouldn't even look at her when she's doing it either. She'd keep looking at whatever she was looking at. She'd grab her snout and just be like, ah. Pretty funny to watch. This was taken at the dog park. So I'd be at the dog park and, hang out there for 2-3 hours sometimes. And then we walk home. We'd walk to the dog park and then we walk home. And at the dog park, we try to get some shots, Always bring the camera. He's got to take some pictures. This is Gus, the Newfoundland Gus. Man, he had quite a personality. This guy was not good at sitting either and staying. That's why he would have been last on this shot. So I would have set these guys up, and these guys are all good stayers. Stay, he's the best. Stay. And then Gus is last, because Gus could not stay still for very long at all. So this is probably you know, after me walking them for about a year or two, probably. I have a relationship with these dogs. I would walk them for, honestly, I don't even remember, like 2 to 4, sometimes even 5 hours. Just take them out for a huge adventure. Take them off leash, walk around, play, walk, you know, go through the river, go through the forest, go through the university, go, you know, chase stuff in the forest, which I didn't encourage, but I tried to stop it every time, but that's what happened. And just lots of play and lots of fun, lots of obedience, lots of discipline, lots of social time. Like these guys are like true friends. Like these guys have spent so much time together. It's anyway. That's still what we do tonight, but anyway. This is at the dog park too with Hachi. Oh, I love Hachi. Hachi had a great personality. This is Sasha. I haven't really talked much about Sasha, but this is the first dog I ever owned. And she was the one who started me dog walking and doing all this stuff because I had a dog who was barking at everyone. Kind of to a point where I had to try to figure it out why she was doing it. And 15 years later, well, I got her in 2008, so what, 17 years later, this is what I'm doing still. So thank you, Sasha. I always wanted to work with dogs, but Sasha was really the one who was like, you want to work with dogs, do you? Well, you got to fix a few things about yourself. So I'm going to keep barking at people until you figure out why you're nervous around people. So that's what it is. That's how it works with dogs. Sorry, that's my weird voice. Anyway, I just like this picture. I like dog pictures with dogs on picnic tables. Obviously, I got other ones too. I got like dogs under bridges. It's like 36 or 40 shots of like this kind of style, but with dogs under bridges, or like with bridges at the backdrop, or bridges like whatever. It's my favorite file, but I didn't want to start with my favorite. So expect that one. It's gonna be a good one. I hope. Well, I think it is because I just went through and I'm like, oh, I love this. I love all these. Like, I'm not trying to sound like I do. I haven't shown many of my pictures for the last 15 years, really, because I've just enjoyed them for myself. Like, looking back on all these pictures of the dogs that all passed away. Rhea's still alive right here. Rhea's still kicking strong. I still take her for 2, 3, 4 hours of walks every day, and she's 12 now. But I don't know about Penny. Malibu's probably still alive, too. Charlie and Milo both passed on. Barney and Loki. These guys were like, sometimes what happens with a pack of dogs is you get like ones that are like consistently comes for like consistently a long time, you know, consistently. And there's other dogs that come for like, you know, a month or two here and there, maybe a few days here and there, and not as consistent. But enjoy the pack nonetheless, as much as they all do. These are two of those kind of dogs, Barney and Loki. Both needed help in different kinds of ways because what the pack does is we help dogs recover from a psychological problem that they have. And so for Loki, the little miniature poodle right here, which he is purebred miniature poodle, and this guy's a purebred Weimaraner. The miniature poodle was suffering with depression. I never experienced him with it. I never went over and examined him or like examined him. Went over and observed him in his depressive state. We just met in the park, sort of thing, just casually, and they just knew I walked packs of dogs, and so he joined the pack, and the pack just brought the happiness out of him. Just whoop, I got pictures of him, so many pictures of him, just with the happiest expressions. I'm so thankful to have all those pictures with him with just the happiest face alive. I'll have to go through that sometime. Maybe I'll do a Loki video just for Loki, you know. Because he was like 11 or 12 when he started in the pack. He was not a young dog. Neither was Barney. They were both older members that started as an older dog, not as a younger dog, which is quite a different experience. Dogs who start as a young dog and grew up in the pack are very different from dogs who experience it at an older age. It's kind of a long story, but anyway, and then Barney just kind of started he was being kind of territorial, kind of aggressive in the backyard because they just let him out into the backyard and he'd go bark at everyone that walked by, but so he was kind of a tough guy. So I kind of really am happy that I had him for at least a good amount of time. Actually, I have for a good amount of time near the end of his life, just to give him like an experience of someone else calling the shots instead of him. And he really loved it. Dogs love it when you take that responsibility away from them. They just, yes, thank you. I don't have to take care of everything. Thank you. You can do it for me. And I do. Okay, another picnic shot. This would have been behind King's College. I used to walk back there all the time. This is like over on this side, back behind Anak, towards me. Behind me is the King's College campus cafeteria, which I'd stop in sometimes and grab some like a lunch while I was out with the dogs for hours and hours, having a great time, taking pictures, giving them exercise, giving them friends, curing their social disabilities or whatever you want to call them, with just great times. This guy came to me because he was pretty reactive on these. Highly reactive dog, but he meshed into the pack immediately. I consider him to be the best dog that it's ever been in the pack. Old Charlie right here. Charlie was the best because he was the best player. He had the best playing style. He had the best playing ability. He had always never got to a point where he got upset too much. And if they were being too rough with him, he'd just throw his voice at them because he's part Beagle. And Beagles had this awesome voice, and he used to use it just to stop them immediately, and they would. And they'd always laugh after because it was just kind of a funny thing, but it was effective. And he could play with two different dogs at once, which is not common. Most dogs are only one-on-one, but he can do one-on-two. And he could play with boys or girls too. So that's pretty rare. I've been with the hundreds, probably thousands of dogs by now, and that doesn't come up too often. It's always a great dog that has the ability to play with more than one dog at a time, and male or female. You know you got a good dog when they're doing that. It's the first dog I ever walked right here, Orly. That was the first client I ever had. I always consider him to be the best dog overall. He was the best dog in terms of playability and everything. He was the best obedient dog. He was like completely obedient to everything. He had like this incredible obedient ability that superseded any other dog I ever had. I don't know. He was just like completely. I think it was because he was completely eager to please. That was what it was. He was like completely eager to please. So he'd really focus on what it is I was asking him to do. Unlike the other dogs who are trying to do other things all the time. But anyway. Let's go to the next one. Well, that's it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the first video, and stay tuned for more. Thank you very much, and I'm going to be starting a channel, and I think I'm going to be calling it. I don't know if I'm going to reveal it right now, but I think I'm actually going to call it something like Dana and I made up a name, and it was funny. We laugh a lot together, and we thought it'd be a great title. Dog Wizard.